Welcome to No Place Like Home, the radio show, coming to you on WRXB 1590 AM in Pinellas County, Connection TV. This program is presented to you as an opportunity to hear information that can help you fulfill the dream of owning your very own home. We also share information about upcoming special events and programs to help you enjoy the good life in Pinellas County, as well as other items of interest. The sponsor of this program is the Housing Finance Authority of Pinellas County, which offers the first-time homebuyer program. I'm Carmen Lemberg, alongside Jane Merlin, your host for today's show. Morning, Jane. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Absolutely awesome.
Good. This is one of my favorite shows because, we're all about helping people fulfill the dream of home ownership. And in a few minutes, we're going to be talking about a very special event that happens once a year. And this would be a good time for folks listening to make sure that you've got a pen and paper ready so you can take down some information about an opportunity you certainly don't want to miss.
Exactly. I go to this event every year, and it is wonderful, and I really enjoy meeting all the people that come and answering questions. And these guys put on such a great event. I'm looking forward to hearing more about it and seeing if there's any changes this year.
Me too. But before we get into that conversation, I know you have an important message from our sponsor.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. The Housing Finance Authority of Pinellas County is offering the First-Time Homebuyers Program, your key to home ownership, helping people in Pinellas, Pasco, and Polk counties make their dreams of home ownership a reality. The First-Time Homebuyers Program is for individuals who have never owned a home, have not owned a home in the last 3 years, or veterans. The HFA offers a low rate on its 30-year fixed-rate mortgage, and if you need a little help with down payment and closing costs, we can help you with that. To get your key to home ownership, visit www.pinellascounty.org/HFA as in Housing Finance Authority. On the right-hand side of the page, there's little pictures. The first one says First-Time Homebuyers What to Know. The second one talks about the classes, and the third one is our list of approved lenders. For more information or comments about the show, call us at 727-223-6419, or you can email us at newhome@pinellashfa.com. Jane?
Thank you, Carmen. And just real quick, I wanted to ask you about, you mentioned a link about classes. Tell us a little bit more about the classes that you're referring to.
It's the first-time homebuyer education class, which is a requirement for our program. And what I have up there is actually the link to the HUD website, because they have to be HUD-approved vendors. And you put in your city or your zip code, and then you put in that you want to take the pre-purchase homebuyer education class, and it'll give you the list of approved vendors nearest you. And then you just call them up and schedule yourself, and you're off and running.
Very good to know. And those are free classes probably?
Most of them are.
Okay.
You can also there is one online class which is listed on that same page, but that's $100. And frankly, when you're sitting in a room full of other first-time home buyers, you're going to hear a lot of questions that you wouldn't even have thought of asking, and it's much more educational that way.
I think the interaction is really, really helpful, which is another good segue into the topic that we are going to be talking about today.
Exactly.
And it is my pleasure to introduce today's guest. Louis Embody has been with Regions Bank for 10 years and serves as the Community Reinvestment Act liaison. He's also a first-time homebuyer specialist. He's been in the banking, finance, and mortgage industry for more than 45 years. Louis has served on the Hope Expo Committee for 11 years and is the chairman of the organization. Originally from Fort Wayne, Indiana, he moved to Florida in 2000. Carrie Vitale has been with Tampa Bay Community Development Corporation. We also abbreviate it Tampa Bay CDC for more than 20 years, and she serves as the agency's vice president. She was in the mortgage lending industry for 15 years prior to that, and in her role at Tampa Bay CDC, she manages the lending department and underwrites assistance loans to help low to moderate income clients achieve their dream of homeownership. She is also in the homebuyer education classes that will be presented for the Hope Expo, and is actually a founding member of the Hope Expo. Welcome to No Place Like Home, Louis, Carrie.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So good to have you both here. And I feel like I'm surrounded by mortgage experts because Carmen is also got a lot of great experience. And in a past life, she was a mortgage lender and now program administrator for the Housing Finance Authority for first-time home buyers. So I'm surrounded by experts. So it's really, really exciting. And I can't wait to dive in and ask a bunch of questions to all of you. Carrie, we want to start with you and ask you to tell us a little bit about the Hope Expo and how many years is this now?
Well, actually, this is a milestone for us. This is our 25th Expo this year.
It's a silver anniversary.
Silver anniversary. And you just mentioned about you being surrounded by experts. Well, at the Hope Expo, anyone that attends, you will also be surrounded by experts there. Hope Expo is something that we started many years ago, and it's a collaboration between various community partners, government, funding agencies, nonprofit agencies, our lender and real estate partners. We've all come together to plan this event. It's going to be held on June the 4th. And basically, it's, as I like to say, I think we all like to go on vacation to those all-inclusive resorts where everything's at your fingertips. Well, this is kind of an all-inclusive for people looking to purchase a home because we're going to do the home buyer workshop at the event, but we also will have exhibitors. Usually we have about 30 exhibitors that have tables, and that's everybody that you would interact with in buying a home. Lenders, realtors, down payment assistance programs. HUD will actually have a table, the U.S. Department of HUD. It's a great event, and it's free. Even better.
That is amazing. And I know that what's, I think, particularly exciting about this event is the fact that all of the housing professionals who deal with the home buying process are going to be there. And what a great opportunity for people to interact, ask questions, and learn more about the process.
And it's people who specialize in working with first-time home buyers and people who also are familiar with the assistance programs. You know, I think that's really important. You mentioned Louie, you know, is a first-time home buyer specialist. That's important to interact with those people at your lender because they are familiar with what's going to be available to help you purchase that home.
And I know it's kind of a full day, especially if people are going to sign up for the educational component. So this might be an event that you may not really want to bring the children along.
That's probably a good idea because you're going to be talking to a lot of experts in the field, and you're going to be gaining a lot of information. So if you have to spend time searching for kids or hanging on to children, why, it might be disconcerting for you.
Well, plus it's an 8-hour class, and that's an awful long time for children to try to sit still and, you know, they certainly aren't going to want to pay attention to what's going on.
Right, the event lasts from 8:15 to 4, and you know, we know that our participants will find it interesting, but the kids probably not so much, right, Louie?
Probably true.
I don't know. Louie's quite entertaining, actually.
So tell us, is there anything new this year at the event?
There are going to be some new exhibitors.
Mm-hmm.
We've got both a Hispanic class and English workshop.
Good.
So, and I think Susanna
Cristancho from our office will be conducting the Spanish workshop, and then we have several presenters in the English workshop, and it's an exciting, you know, we always look for some new exhibitors there, but we get excited every year when this comes up.
Oh, I can imagine. Now, you were talking that you have the one lady from your office teaching the Hispanic class.
Correct.
Who's going to be teaching the English class?
There'll be actually some representatives from 3 different nonprofits.
Wonderful.
So we will have one representative, Joe Goulart, from our office will be one of the presenters, and we will also have someone from Community Service Foundation that will do part of the presentation.
Wonderful.
As well as someone from St. Pete Neighborhood Home Solutions.
Wonderful.
So it's going to be a collaboration in the English workshop.
Good.
And excuse me, we will have also representatives in the class that will be speaking about all the different assistance programs and free money that's out there to help you buy that home.
The key word is free.
Free. What other sort of information do you guys cover in the class?
Well, the Homebuyer Workshop, it's really everything from start to finish. We help people understand how to find the right lenders that are going to understand these programs and be able to direct you. We talk about what mortgage lenders are going to look at, so you can start thinking about, if you're ready to buy or what you need to do to get prepared. We talk about that mountain of paperwork. Sorry, Louie. But it's true, right?
It's exactly what it is.
But we want people to leave there trying to see if they are ready, what's the next step. If they're not ready, where can they get help? And the nice thing is there'll be long breaks that if you say, gee, I have some credit issues, I'm not going to meet that criteria. You've got housing counseling agencies in the room right next door that you can talk with and set up an appointment. So if you are ready, you've got lenders next door that you can go right to and apply. If you're not ready, you've got housing counseling agencies that can get you on the right track to do it.
Oh, that's great. Now, let me ask you one more thing. So say somebody might have already taken the class, but they just want to come in to kind of see the exhibitors. Are they going to be allowed to just come in and see the exhibitors, or do they need to be signed up for the class to do that?
It's helpful for them to register still, even if they're not going to take the workshop.
All right.
Raymond James Financial has been kind enough to host this event for us, and they do like to know how many people are going to be coming through and have some names. So I would still encourage, even if they're not going to go to the class, I would still encourage them to register.
Yeah. I always enjoy going around talking to the exhibitors myself, too, just see who's out there and who's doing what. So I'm excited.
Boy, we are also. We get excited every year at this time. So.
That's great.
Well, I think also the fact that people can have that one-on-one interaction with the professionals in the industry, and if you haven't picked a lender yet and you're in the market for a home, it certainly is a good opportunity to kind of shop for a lender, if you will, and ask questions about the fees and what have you. And Louie, I know that good credit is obviously very important in anything that you buy, but particularly as it relates to a mortgage. And for those who may not have less than a good credit score or have some challenges with their credit, is this still a good opportunity for them to come to the expo and get some information? And
Absolutely. Buying your first home in today's mortgage market can be a very, very harrowing experience because there's so much documentation involved. You want a lender that's going to be able to walk you through everything, the lender that knows all of the down payment assistance programs and the people that run them. And you're going to find them here at this Hope Expo. One of the things I tell all of my first-time home buyers is, it's going to be a rough situation, but you're going to get all the information you need. We're going to walk through this, and by the time you get finished, when you sit down and sign your name and get the keys to that house, it's the greatest feeling in the world. And it can all start with one day at the Hope Expo.
Exactly.
And I'm sure the class is also going to provide information about how to develop a budget and maintain that budget.
Yes, absolutely. And even if credit scores aren't as high, they'll get some information on how to improve their credit. Or there's also programs that allow for alternative credit, cancel checks for rent, cell phone bills that you've paid on time for a year, utility bills. Those are all called alternative credit, and there are programs out there. If you do that and you just don't have any credit, it's still possible to buy a home.
That's a really important point, because for many people, especially younger people who may not have an established track history as it relates to credit with the credit cards and in a rent system or what have you, those other avenues do come into play.
I truly believe that anyone who attends the Hope Expo and spends their day there, they're going to walk away with a wealth of information about buying their first home.
Now, how do individuals ascertain how much home they can afford? That to me has always been a real tricky kind of thing to wrap my head around.
As a general rule, and this is kind of industry-wide, most lenders want to keep you, and down payment assistance agencies want to keep you at a 41% debt-to-income ratio. And that simply means, you add up all of your mortgage, installment, and revolving monthly payments and divide that by your gross monthly income. Keeping in mind that gross monthly income is, if you're paid weekly, you multiply it by 52 and then divide that by 12. Okay? So, and you want to be no higher than 41%. Now, you're not limited to that, but that is a good guideline that most lenders and agencies and all programs want you to be at.
And I think important to mention, too, I know Carmen and I have talked to potential home buyers in the past about the fact that just because a lender tells you that you can afford this much in a mortgage doesn't mean that that's the price that you need to be looking for a home, because you have to think about your lifestyle and what you're comfortable with. If you're an individual who likes to take vacations or go to the movies occasionally or nice dinners, you need to find a balance.
Planning does enter into this.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and plus you always know two things are going to increase on your house payment: your taxes and your insurance every year. And unfortunately, you cannot always guarantee that you're going to get a raise every year. So I know I always tell people, make sure and leave yourself some room so that when that happens every year, you're not concerned about losing your home that you just fought so hard to get.
Well, and as we've often told people in the workshop, don't ask the lender to tell you how much they think you can qualify for. Tell them what you feel comfortable paying, and they can tell you what that equates to in a price of a home.
That's a good one.
Just to tie into what you said, Jane, that the lender could tell you could go out and buy a $150,000 home. That doesn't mean you should, because you may not feel comfortable with that payment. So
that's a very good point.
Yep. So, you tell the lender, this is what I feel comfortable paying. How much of a home should I buy so my payment will stay under this amount? And
that's a much better way to ask the question.
Well, it's more understandable to the everyday person. We work in this industry. All of these, mathematical equations make perfect sense to us, but I see people's eyes glaze over when I start mentioning the 41% debt to income, or your housing piece can only be this much, and they're just like, ugh. So I totally... Saying it that way is very understandable to people. Carrie, what other sort of advice can you offer to homeowners in these days?
Well, I think the most important thing that I have a couple of things that we always talk about in the workshops. And Louie, I'm sure you've dealt with first-time home buyers a long time as I have. The one thing that I recommend to everybody is go to a home buyer workshop before you do anything.
Exactly.
I taught these classes for a very long time, and the most common thing I used to hear at the end of the day is, I wish somebody would have told me about this 3 months ago. Right. Because people came near the end of the process and they were like, wow, I made a lot of mistakes and I didn't realize this or I didn't realize that. Go to a workshop. And Carmen, I agree with you. The in-person workshop is so much better than the online. Number one, it's free in most cases, as opposed to $100, but you will get a lot of beneficial information. And the second piece of advice I give to everyone is get all your money lined up before you even go look at a home.
Exactly.
I know people get excited and they want to go and start, shopping. But if you found a home that's $160,000 and then you go to the lender and they tell you you only qualify for $100, it's awfully hard to start that search over again.
That is deflating.
Yes, absolutely. And, it's better to know your money's lined up before you go shopping.
Exactly. Oh. Now, after they finish the class, they get a certificate. Mm-hmm. What is the significance of that certificate, and what should they be doing with it?
Well, the certificate just proves you attended the workshop. It's not an approval. for the program. I know we often get that question. All of the assistance programs do require homebuyer education. The certificate is good for a year. Because things change. If it's much past that, then you do need to attend another one. But it just shows that you did attend that, because we feel strongly, and we say class or workshop. I just don't want anyone to get nervous. There's no test.
That's right.
It's more a lecture, and we will have a little fun in there, but don't get scared. There's no test involved, and you will get that certificate at the end of the day that you can provide to either your lender. Some of them require that for special programs, or to your assistance program.
Great. And as we've been saying, I just want to reiterate, the class is free. Now,
Yes.
How are they going to be going about registering for the class?
Well, they need to go to our website, which is www.hopeexpo.com. .org.
.org, okay.
.org.
.org,
Oh,
yeah.
my goodness. Or they can call. We get a couple of numbers at 461-0618. That's 727 area code.
Okay.
Extension 4.
That's for the English registrations.
And 727-442-7075 for the Spanish class,
Okay. Great.
which is Carrie's organization.
Yes, and also for those that are going to attend that are more comfortable with Spanish, the workshop will be done in Spanish, but there will also be, our exhibitors will have people at their tables that speak Spanish.
Oh, good. Okay. What about food? Can people bring their own food? Will food be there? What's that situation like?
As a matter of fact, you did ask something that's new, and we do have something that's new. Because boxed lunches will be provided, but this year, thanks to Wells Fargo, the cost of those lunches are going to be subsidized by Wells Fargo. So they're going to
Wonderful.
be very inexpensive when you consider a lunch. So,
Wonderful. Well, that's good.
And one thing I'll just caution people, we've had this situation arise. Do bring some cash with you, because in that particular tower that we're at with Raymond James, there are no ATMs. And I know we get people sometimes that want to go get cash. So if you are going to have lunch, I think it may only be a few dollars each, but I would encourage bring a little cash with you.
Now, are people allowed to bring in food, though?
No.
No. So they can't bring food. What about water?
There will be water there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
That's definitely good information to have, especially the part about bringing a little bit of cash with you, because I am the kind of individual, I don't take cash anywhere.
That happened to me too. I had to go to my boss the first time
borrow
we were
money.
there, and I'm like, "Can you give me a few dollars?"
Oh, my goodness. And I know if the great classes and interaction with the professionals is not enough, there's also fabulous door prizes.
typically we have over 30 vendors or exhibitors. Each one of those exhibitors contributes a door prize of at least $25, sometimes up to $50. So there's going to be over $750 in just door prizes given away throughout the day at different intervals.
And I know oftentimes these are the kinds of prizes that are really applicable to home ownership, aren't they?
Oh, absolutely. Yes, they are. Gift certificates, Home Depot, gift certificates to
Gas cards, Publix cards, and thanks to Regions, I think what's the grand prize?
We're going to have a grand prize that Regions is sponsoring, and we think that might be a flat screen TV.
Wow.
Oh, my.
What a good addition to your new home.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, Carmen, we have tables. We're exempt. We can't.
I know.
I know.
Darn it.
Yes,
Oh.
and the HFA is going to be there, correct?
Oh,
you're
yes.
going to be there and have a
We're gonna be
table.
there, and I'm trying to think of maybe something unique for our door prize. I usually just do the Home Depot card, but I'm trying to think, if I can find something a little bit different this year, but I don't know. I haven't found anything that really strikes my fancy yet.
I might have an idea or two. I'm really good at helping other people spend their money.
Good job. Talk to me.
About that later. One of the other things I think important to note for people who are contemplating home ownership, and one great thing about this whole program that you all do is the fact that you may go through this class and determine that you're not really cut out to be a homeowner. And there is certainly nothing wrong with that. And actually, I think that's a good thing for those who end up making that determination.
Yes, there's a lot of responsibility going into owning a home. I mean, even after it's purchased, you have upkeep. And as Carmen mentioned, the taxes and insurance can increase. But it is important. It would be important to find out if you're not a typical homeowner or have a typical desire to be a homeowner. It's good to find that out early.
I know I've run into people in years past that have come up to me on one of the breaks and have said just that. I didn't realize owning my own home, I was going to be responsible for appliances that broke down, for maintenance on the outside of the house. I've been a renter all my life, and I just pick up the phone and call a landlord. I didn't realize that now that I'm the one who's responsible. And I said, well, yeah, it's yours. It's not anybody else's. It's yours. And they're like, oh, that's just not going to work. And it's better, like you say, it's better they find out now rather than buy the house and go, well, who do I call to fix my water heater?
Yeah, it's very exciting to be a homeowner, but again, you do have to do the research and be just a smart consumer, like any purchase that you're going to make.
Oh, exactly.
Very important.
It is.
Let's give the dates, location, and contact information again. We want to make sure people know exactly when, where, and how to get involved.
The date is June 4th this year. It will be at the Raymond James Financial Center, Tower 4, 880 Carillon Parkway, here in St. Petersburg. Okay?
And it begins at 8:15 and ends at 4. And the workshop will be during that time period, but you'll also have several opportunities to go and visit all of our exhibitors and interact with them as well. And as we said, the workshops are going to be done in both English and Spanish. And to register, go to www.hopeexpo.org. Or if you want to register for the English workshop, you can call 727-461-0618, extension 4. If you want to register for the Spanish workshop, that number is 727-442-7075. And stop by all of our tables and say hi to all of us. We'd love to meet you.
Absolutely.
Well, that sounds great. Is there anything else that we should know about the Hope Expo this year?
I would say that to all of those people out there, if you're not a homeowner and you do not attend, you're going to be missing a great opportunity.
And also it'll give you opportunities. If you know you're not ready to buy a home, don't skip the event, because you have the opportunity there to hear what lenders look at in the way of credit, so you can start thinking about what you need to do to get there. But you also have the opportunity to meet with housing counseling agencies that do help you clean up your credit the right way. There's no charge for a lot of those services. There's a lot of agencies and companies out there that charge thousands of dollars to help you clean up your credit for things you can do yourself. And so you'll have the opportunity to learn how to do it the right way.
Well, I'm very excited for all of you for your silver anniversary of the Hope Expo. Congratulations. It's certainly been an event that the county has been involved with, in the Housing Finance Authority, and just a great program, a day of great information and interaction for those who are thinking about buying a home. So best of luck to you for this year's Expo.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us to
pleasure.
give us the information. Again, it's always good to have you here. And again, I want to thank our guests, Louis Embody with Regions Bank and Carrie Vitale with the Tampa Bay Community Development Corporation. Thanks for listening to us on WRXB 1590 AM and Pinellas County Connection TV. We look forward to having you join us next month. Remember, if you missed any part of this show or one of you past shows, check out the website or YouTube. I'm Jane Merlin.
And I'm Carmen Lemberg.
Thanks for tuning in. Make it a great day.